Hello, YouTube. I'm Edward, and I am about to go through the basic operation of the Motif XF editor. If you happen to have the XS version, you should be able to follow through with this tutorial, and you should be okay, as there are no significant or noticeable differences between the two applications. The moment you have downloaded the application onto your computer, then you have to make sure that everything is properly set up so that you can communicate with your keyboard. The way to do that, you just you come here to File and then go to Setup. Once you get here, then you have to make sure that the proper selections are selected so that you can properly sync with your keyboard. As you can see, I have selected the FireWire 1394. This is because I am using a FireWire cable to connect to my computer. So my computer is connected to my keyboard through a FireWire 13 cable. If I were using a USB cable, then I would have selected this option here, and then the detail related to it here. And then the MIDI in and out, I want to make sure that I have selected the proper device that I'm using for those. Right now I'm just using my XF for everything, for the MIDI in, MIDI out, as well as the only FireWire device that I have here. That leaves me with just one device number. If, let's say, I were using a different device for my MIDI in or MIDI out, then I would have came here and select the appropriate item. I would have clicked here, and then I would have seen the applicable option to choose. As you can see, I have a UR22 plugged into my keyboard, and that's given to me as an option here. But since I'm not using that, then I'm not gonna worry about selecting it, so I leave it as is. Once you have selected the proper options here, then you move on to the auto sync setting. And the auto sync setting, generally what this does is it tells you how communication will flow. Is it going to flow from your computer to the keyboard or vice versa? Right now I have it set up so that information goes from my computer to my keyboard. But let's say you wanted to set it up differently, where you want the information to flow from your keyboard to the computer, then you would have chosen this option here. Okay, and as you can see, the arrows now points towards the computer. In other words, it's taking information from from my keyboard to the computer. All right, so let's go back to the original setup where it was. This is how we want it, from the computer to the keyboard. And this here, I leave it on because I want everything to auto sync as I perform them. This is the general setup area. Usually you don't do much in that area unless you have any particular preferences that you want to set up. For example, if you want the application to start up in a particular mode, let's say you wanted to start up in song mode instead of pattern mode as you see here, then you would have selected this and then select song mode. Also, if you wanted voice, you would have done the same thing, selecting your voice, but we want to keep it in pattern mode for now. Once you have gone through and make sure that everything is properly selected, then you would click OK to go back to the main window. Alright, now that we have set up everything properly, then we can go online. And then as we can see, as you can see here, we are in pattern mode, which is what we want. Just click here and then click start. You will see something similar happening in your keyboard. It's synchronizing. Once the synchronization is complete, then you can verify here that you are online. Alright, now that we have we've set up the communication line, now we're ready to go through and select different voices and select different arpeggios and do quite a few things in this particular application. The information here is very obvious, but so that we can make sure that everybody's on the same page, I'm just gonna go through and just kind of describe brief description of what these are. Part 1 through 16 here is basically track 1 through 16 on your keyboard. The mute and solo columns are, for they associate with individual tracks. And this is the name of the instrument that you have selected. By default, this is set up to full concert grand piano. These are the different parameters: panning, chorus, and etc. that you can change, and they can be they align to particular tracks. This is the volume and receiving channel, output, etc. Here you have this is the arpeggio column, and if let's say you can tell if the arpeggio to a particular track is on by it having a solid light lit up. So if you see it like this, then that means it is off. The arpeggio for that particular track is off. Alright, in here, as you can see, you see Firewire 1 and 2. I usually use Firewire as my buses if I am opening the application within a DAW system like Cubase or Pro Tool or Logic, what have you. But now I'm using it standalone, and therefore I'm just going to put everything to left and right. Okay, let's leave it there. Alright, so how do we select a voice and arpeggio and assign these arpeggios to these different voices? The way to do that is to, go to, the particular track that you want, and then select the voice and then everything else. So let's go to the first track. So select track 1 on your keyboard, and it's going to take you to track 1. So we're going to put, let's say, about 3 different voices together. Assign, one to track 1, another one to track 2, and track 3. So let's do that now. Click in here, and then that brings up the voice library. Once you're in the voice library, you can minimize this folder so that you can see the different folders available to you. Those are all the sounds basically on your Motif keyboard, all the voices. And you can search by category, or you can do it by bank. Okay, and now we're gonna do it by category. Minimize the folder. Let's say we want a drum track, so we would go to the drum folder, and then once we're here, we can select the drum that we like. Alright, so let's say we like that one. We can either click OK, or we can click here to select the voice. Select track 2 on your keyboard. That brings you to track 2 on the application, and then you click here again to select the voice that you want. Let's say we want a guitar in this case, so we would click the folder with the guitar, and then select the track that we want. But this time, let's do a search for a particular genre. Let's go hip. Now that it narrows down our search to these different folders, but we know we want something very guitar style, so we just leave it in the guitar folder. We have 3 options available, so we test this one. Alright, so we like that. And then let's go to track 3. And then do the same thing. Let's select a bass folder. can double click here. Alright, so now that we have our voices selected, we want to assign some arpeggios to those different voices. To select to do that, let's select first an arpeggio for voice one. So select track one on your keyboard, and now that you're here, you can just come here to ARP. All right. Once you come here, and it brings up this window here, which includes all the parameters for that particular for your arpeggio, basically. Um, if you put your mouse over this SW here, you don't know what it is exactly. What you can do is come down here. As soon as you put your mouse over the SW, look at this window display here. The I means information. So all the information associated with that particular tab that you have your mouse over will be displayed here. So as you can see, when I put my mouse over this little icon here, and I look down at the information, it tells me this is the arpeggio button. It is associated with part 1, and it's the switch. Right now the switch is off. Turn the switch on and come here, go to hold, click here and select hold. And this is the velocity limit and the note limit. We're going to leave that alone for now. This is where you can set up the tempo. So if you click here, by dragging your mouse up and down, you can select the tempo that you want. We're going to leave it at 20 right now. This area here is the arpeggio on and off button for the entire keyboard. Now if I click this and you look at your keyboard, you should see the lamp of the arpeggio turn on. So this is the on and off button for that arpeggio lamp there to the left of your screen. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that, but I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page. And then this here is the individual arpeggio parameters that you can change. As you can see, arpeggio 1 through 5 you can set here, and then this is where you click here to select the particular arpeggio that you want to apply to that specific voice. So let's click here, and this brings up the arpeggio library. Remember, previously we were looking at the voice library, but now we have the arpeggio library. So we're going to click here to minimize it, and we're going to go to the drum folder just as we did in the voice library. And now we can see the different arpeggios, drum arpeggios available. There are tons of items here. So the best way to search through it is to do a search. Okay, this is very useful, as you can notice, because when you were doing this on your keyboard, you couldn't just say, okay, this is my category, and I'm just gonna dive in and do a search and select exactly what I want, or something that's associated with what I want. You would have to kind of go down or memorize a few of the numbers. But here you can just go to the search bar and just type something similar to what you want, or the genre, so that you can get things that are more closely related to what comes up on your screen. So I type hip, here, let's see, hip. Alright, so now it gives me everything that has hip hop in it. So now I'm just a few items. I can see just a few items that I can just select from. So let's select something here, and then just hit one of the keys. Alright, so let's see, I like that. I just click OK. And then I I don't have to get out of this screen in order to change the voice. So I can just go to track 2 now. select track 2 on your keyboard, and then turn on the switch, turn on the hole, and everything is pretty much the same here. Now we know that we are in the hip hop guitar, so we're gonna come here, pull up the arpeggio library, and let's go to the guitar folder. Again, we have tons of items available, but we want something very hip hop related. So we're gonna type hip. Alright, we got some stuff here. Alright, so let's I like that. Click OK. And I go to the third track. So you're gonna hit the third track, hit track 3 on your keyboard. Alright, so now we're gonna select the switch, turn it on, and then come here, and then we're gonna go to the bass and select whatever bass we want. Chill out bass. Alright, so see, I like that. Alright, so that's basically how you would go about you know just basic operation of this application. It's very neat. It's extremely useful and time saving when you're going through and you don't know exactly what you want, but you want to come up with some quick ideas. This allows you to really just search and just get what you want fairly quickly with the search engine, with the search toolbar there. Um, so if you have any questions, comments, just drop me a couple of lines, and I'll try to get back to you. I will be posting another tutorial on different features of this application, but most importantly, I'm gonna post another tutorial on how to use it within a DOS system like Cubase or other applications. So enjoy. All right, thank you. Bye.